from them.
Manchester United have to beat Luton. If they don't,
Oh.
Ten Hag is a goner.
Who you think?
Alan Brazil at TalkSport.
You've got the Jadon Sancho situation. Now, he's not the most popular man inside that Manchester United dressing room, but players tend to stick together in situations like this. So I think he's created an unwanted problem for himself, Erik Ten Hag.
Alex Cook from TalkSport.
With Ten Hag's job seemingly in doubt now, we want to get Gabby's thought on which managers would actually go to Old Trafford.
No, we don't want to get Gabby's thoughts on what manager would go to Old Trafford. We want to get Gabby and Lonahor's thoughts on absolutely anything in life whatsoever. Erik Ten Hag, look, I'm coming out with some serious energy today. Erik Ten Hag has been at the centre of, I wouldn't call it, a witch hunt's the wrong way to describe it, but any United fan will know that this is the most scrutinised job in football. And Erik Ten Hag has had his failures this year, but I think an apology is owed to Ten Hag because I think people are they are driving a narrative and they just don't want to look at any sort of mitigating factor that might be, sod that. That didn't suit my narrative. Well, I'm here, guns are blazing, to defend my manager because I don't think he's had that much defence. Not in the media, certainly, and even among some United fans as well. Manchester United right now, despite how abysmal our season has been, on the live show this morning, I genuinely looked back and I was like, what is our best Premier League performance this season? And I picked out going 2-0 down against Nottingham Forest and winning 3-2 at Old Trafford. Despite how bad we've been, we are 5 points behind a Spurs team who have been glorious, who have been indomitable, who have been revolutionary, and who are 5 points ahead of us. And Manchester United right now are the informed team in the Premier League. Nobody's picked up more points in the last 4 games than Manchester United. Erik Ten Hag, who has accumulated 4 more points than Jurgen Klopp did in his first 50 games as Liverpool manager in the Premier League, and a full 21 more points than Arteta did. And Arteta and Klopp, they managed to navigate through that period. They were given time. And all of a sudden, Arsenal looked better as a consequence of sticking with a plan and a manager. And Liverpool looked better as a consequence of sticking with a plan and a manager. Now, Erik Ten Hag, well, he's got his flaws. And Erik Ten Hag has had his problems this season. And some of those problems have certainly been self-inflicted. But if you want, go and listen to TalkSport, where you will see time and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Do you see this repeating pattern? Do you see what I'm getting at here? Erik Ten Hag has just had to deal with dog's abuse, really, in the press. But United fans, you should know this is going to happen. You should know this is going to be expected as being manager of Manchester United. Now, I'm not saying that he is absolutely innocent from criticism because he deserves plenty this season. But right now, Manchester United, look at this Premier League table. I'm interested to see what happens now with Postecoglu, who's lost 2 games in a row. Obviously, that 4-1 against Chelsea. And then they lost injuries. You're telling me that injured players affects the quality of a starting 11? No, that is a brand new concept. You're telling me that Newcastle are struggling with 3 games a week and that those having some injuries is impacting the quality of their first 11. Honestly, this is a brand new concept. Everybody just wants to pretend that these mitigating factors haven't had an impact on Man United's season. Now, I didn't quite honestly see or understand how player-dependent Ten Hag's system was, but I suppose it's obvious, really. Postecoglu has got a great starting 11. He doesn't have that squad yet. Now, Man United have had some failures in the transfer window, and some of them have happened under Ten Hag, which I will speak to in a bit. That shouldn't be his job. But injuries have obliterated any possibility for Manchester United to have continuous progression this season. All the VAR decisions that continuously have gone against us has been a pretty relentless. Because I think majority of football fans, United fans, just football fans in general, feel that across the course of the season, it will level itself out. And if that is indeed the case with VAR, then we are in for a brilliant second half of this season. And Ten Hag, look, especially in the Champions League, I think this is where it stands out more for me, but the individual errors. Onana for like the handling error away at Bayern Munich, Opening 15, 20 minutes, really in genuine control. Was it Leroy Sané has a shot from 20 yards out? Butterfingers. No explanation, really. Just lost focus and concentration. Galatasaray in the Champions League goes away and gives a penalty. Casemiro red card. 3-2. Diogo Dalot just decided to completely switch off at the back post. So often under Erik Ten Hag, individual errors and not seeing out the last 15, 20 minutes of games have plagued us this season. And our whole attacking force has seemingly forgotten what a goal is. Man United have scored 13 goals in the Premier League this year, right? We are 6th, having scored 13 goals. Our goal difference is -3. Newcastle have scored 17 more goals than us this season. And we're 1 point ahead of them. It says a lot about their defence than it does about our attack. But our attack has been woeful. And that's down. Blame Erik Ten Hag and his coaching. That same coaching staff who got Marcus Rashford scoring 30 goals last year. It's just these players, confidence-wise, whoa, when it comes to finishing, not there. Rasmus Højlund, elite in the Champions League. In the Premier League, you can see that first goal, the pressure of it is there. But when it gets released, I hope that he starts banging them in. And when it comes to transfers, I've got photos of Casemiro and Mason Mount up here. Casemiro, in absolutely nobody's mind, is an alternative to Frenkie de Jong. Not from a profile perspective, when you look at the strengths of their games, what sort of footballer they are not in the same category. But Man United panicked. We couldn't get de Jong. We needed somebody. Tchouaméni. Okay, Real Madrid are probably going to sell Casemiro. We bring him in. Brilliant for a season. Longevity-wise, is that going to help Manchester United in the long term? Mason Mount. Man United went aggressively after Mason Mount because we listened to Ten Hag, because Ten Hag had the power, because we didn't have a sporting director. But again, people want to ignore these mitigating factors. And you know what I want to do? Is I want to remind people of what happened less than 12 months ago. This is Manchester United after the World Cup, when we returned and we had everybody back, everybody was confident, and we didn't have injuries. Beating Forest 3-0, beating Wolves 1-0, beating Bournemouth 3-0, beating Everton 3-1, beating Charlton 3-0, beating City. Then we went to that game there where Casemiro got his yellow card, Olise got the last-minute pet free kick, and then we went and lost against Arsenal the week after. But then after that, we beat Forest 3-0. We're through to the League Cup final. Then we beat Reading. We're in the FA Cup, what was it, quarter-final at that point? No, so that was the first leg of the Nottingham Forest. Second leg of Nottingham Forest. We're beating them. Then we're beating Crystal Palace. Then we're coming from 2-0 down to beat Leeds. Then we're beating Leeds away. Then we're drawing away at Barcelona, a great result. We're beating Leicester. Then we're beating Barcelona. Then we're winning the League Cup. And then everything sort of changed. After that League Cup performance, everything went south. But Ten Hag, when he has had his players fit, available, and confident, we've seen this Manchester United team be significantly better than we have been this season. And there have been, mitigating factors that people just don't want to fully say, oh yeah, that's affecting it. Almost like a takeover has been happening for the past 12 months and is still happening. And still there is no clarity on what is going on or even who owns the football club. The Ronaldo situation, the Sancho situation, the Greenwood situation, and everything else in between as well. Ten Hag has navigated all of this. And somehow, in these last 5 games, we are the informed team in the Premier League. Still scratching my head about that. Somehow, we are still 5 points behind Spurs. Show me what happens when Spurs, now with these injuries, let's have a look at this team. Show me Newcastle. They're currently struggling. Show me Brighton, by the way. And look at their. They've got 4 points out of the last 5 with no wins. I don't know when the last time Brighton won a game was. Ten Hag has dealt with a serious amount of adversity. Quite a lot of it this season, I feel, has been self-inflicted. But there have been so many mitigating factors that have impacted it. And for us to come through this period here as the informed team, still within touching distance, when everything is going against us and has been all season long in terms of momentum of players' form, in terms of concentration of players, in terms of injuries, in terms of VAR, football will never be on the same straight path across the course of a season. I'm hoping that after this international break, maybe with Luke Shaw back, fingers crossed, maybe with a little bit of a decision here or there, a little bit of luck here or there. If we can do this under Ten Hag and just squeeze it through, then I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do if we can get back to this United. All right? Just wanted to do this video. There's been so much negativity and energy towards how Ten Hag isn't fit for the job, how he's a problem, and this and that. And I just think so many people just ignore any sort of mitigating factors because they just want to go, just sack him, bring someone else in. And that's what the media have been pushing against him for so long. The wider football media, your Talk Sports, your Red Tops. Well, I'm here to defend my manager. You might not like it. I don't care. I think he deserves an apology from quite a few people.